Good. So, we are studying and meditating based on the text Astavakra Gita. Kutastham bodham advaitam atmanam paribhavaya abhasu aham brahmam muktva bhavam bahyam at antaram. These verses looks like that if you sing it, it takes you to a deeper level. The simple meaning of this verse is having given up external and internal self-modifications and the illusion. I am what I am. I am reflected self. So what we should do? Meditate on motionless awareness, free from dualism, giving up the mistaken idea that you are just a derivative consciousness. So now we have to understand that. Why we should understand knowledge and the practice should go together. Knowledge without practice, you reach nowhere. Practice without knowledge creates a cult, dogma, belief. Someone asked who was standing on the road where this road goes. The guy said, road doesn't go anywhere. Where you want to go. So the entire message is hidden in this story. The road does not go anywhere. You do not go anywhere. We remain as such, as one motionless awareness. From where the first chapter started the journey started how the knowledge of the real self, dispassion, and liberations are attained. Dispassion makes one a seeker. If you don't have dispassion, this text is not for you. But it doesn't mean that we should not study. Even by studying, we should keep our mind on the dispassion. And dispassion comes from discernment. Discernment is known as viveka, and the viveka comes from contemplation and reflection. And contemplation and reflection comes when we start thinking consciously about our real nature. You see the series. One example. Where is our right hand? You see, we have a clarity, conviction. There is no doubt about it that where is the right hand? Here it is. Now ask yourself, did you do any practice to know where is your right hand? No. Action is not required. I simply know it. This is what the master is saying. Do you know your real self? Yes, I have heard it. I have read it. No. There comes the practice of dispassion in the mind. So, no practice of meditation or mindfulness is possible. What practice I should do to know my right hand? But ask yourself for whom this text is eligible for whom this text is uh, meant for. only for the seeker. The seeker is like having a license, has gone through the written and the practical course on driving. For example, he is free to drive with responsibility because he knows the rules of the road. He has the skill sets of the driving. Do I have it? That makes one a seeker. The master is here saying that the seeker does not need any practice. You simply need to know it the way we know where the right hand is. As long as we are not a seeker, this journey will make you little happy that you see I need not to do anything. I have read it, I have understood it, and I am there. But the next moment, we fall back. So now he uses one word, and I will explain that. Delusion. He says, Brahmam Muktva Bhavam Bahyam Atha Antaram. That is, so you see that one thing we should understand clearly, and through contemplation and reflection, we should remove this ignorance, the incomplete knowledge. I have my both the eyes intact and I'm looking at you. As long as we see through our eyes, we have no problem. Now see that how the illusion takes place. When the eyes are not working, say the eyes are blind. Then what I say? I am blind. How can I be blind? My eyes are blind. I am deaf. I identify myself when the eyes are not working, then I become blind. If the eyes are working fine, I never say, am I my eyes? No, I'm not my eyes. But when the eyes are not working, instant identification, the sense organ with the body, with lot of stuff enters into the mind. Now take up the sutra. He says, Kutastham bodham advaitam atmanam. He says, why don't you meditate here and now on motionless awareness? Did we understand it? Motionless awareness. What is this motionless awareness? Again, through an example, we can understand. Just take it. Consciousness is like a mirror. You stand before the mirror, you go out of the mirror, your image appears, your image disappears. Anything that comes in front of the mirror. Now compare this mirror as motionless awareness and consciousness. That consciousness doesn't go anywhere. That consciousness acts like a mirror. Whatever comes in front of that consciousness, we see those images. What are those images? My stress, my pain, my pleasure, my ego sense, my habits, my duality, my conflict. Everything appears as images in the mirror of consciousness. That consciousness doesn't move. It remains as it is. That is our real self. What you need to do to make this mirror free from all the images? Did I ask a wrong question? We have to do nothing. Mirror is mirror. Mirror does not create any images. It does not store it. You stand before the mirror, doesn't say you are 100 pounds. And if I stand before the mirror, it doesn't say, oh, I am also feeling heavy. Mirror doesn't say. That consciousness, when revealed in the mind, we live and work in meditation 24/7. This is what the Master says. Remember the three questions how dispassion is attained. So, dispassion, highest level of dispassion, is attained by discernment. What is the discernment? It is the quality, it is the process, happens in the intellect to filter out what is real self and what is not real self. So, how the discernment happens? By contemplation and reflection. But how the contemplation and reflection happens? When not by the study, you have heard from me, then you sit with eyes closed and then you contemplate that through your own intellect, then only the changes takes place. This is what. Now, the another word he says that he is repeating it again. That what he says. Abhasoham Brahmam Muktva. Abhasoham. I have to drop what appears in the mind. Who am I? Am I the body? It appears in the mind. It appears in the consciousness, but as an image. But it is pure consciousness that I am. So he is saying, now what it takes to meditate on motionless awareness or the consciousness, it takes nothing. Am I aware? Yes. Mirror is there. Yes. In that mirror, this guy appears as a speaker. But am I a speaker? No. Am I my eyes? No. That appears in the mirror of the consciousness. So I do not take myself as a consciousness. I take myself as a speaker, as my eyes, as my body, as my breath, as my pain, and as my pleasure. And that is the problem. The Master says, free yourself from any dualism. What is that dualism? From where the duality and opposing tendencies comes into the mind. I like you. The moment I say I like you, I have divided my consciousness through the mind as you and me. Second part, liking. Liking leads to attachment. Attachment leads to delusion. Delusion makes me doer and the enjoyer, and I have undergone entire process of ignorance and delusion. So the master says, free yourself from the delusion. Abhasu aham brahmam muktva bhavam bahyam athantaram. That is giving up. If we drop the mistaken identity, idea that we are just this duality, this body, this mind, this intellect, this ego sense, whether it is external or internal, then we become free from it. In the first chapter, the master and the seeker understands the real self and the characteristics of the real self in variety of ways. Variety of ways. Because this intellect is obsessed with the world outside. Why it is obsessed with the world outside? This mind has become a pleasure seeking mind. It wants to understand the real nature or the pure consciousness based on the material world of people, of place, of objects, of the things outside. What is the journey of the Eastern sense organs are the instruments of knowledge that gives us the knowledge of variety. Of knowledge that gives us the knowledge of the phenomenon happening in the world. That is what we talk about the science. The Eastern wisdom gives us that is an instrument of knowledge that helps us to discover our real nature. All the three are instruments of knowledge. So, Eastern wisdom begins with, is your mind pure or not? Pure reference doesn't refer to the sins and the virtues. That this mind should be relaxed, calm, quiet, focused to do the self inquiry. And the height of that purity of the mind, dispassion. Dispassion comes through discernment, means viveka. So, what is the viveka here? I filter what is real and unreal. I drop the unreal and I pick up the real. What are the properties of unreal? That is constantly changing. So that is why he is saying meditate on motionless awareness present here and now. So what is unreal? Whatever is changing is unreal. I simply drop it, filter it out, and I live into that motionless awareness. When we live, we are aware of that motionless awareness. What happens? We are in meditation. We live through meditation. We speak through meditation. We work through meditation. How it comes through contemplation and reflection. You see, there is an instant contemplation and reflection. When I say, where is your right hand? Here it is. So it goes through a very subtle process. You don't point out to the left hand, you simply point to the right hand. So when I say the real self is within you, can it undergo a subtle process of contemplation, reflection, and thought stops and you are aware? No, it doesn't happen. That is why we have to become a seeker. Without becoming a seeker, this is not possible. Another issue is like a mirror. You stand before the mirror, the image appears. Ask, check, does the weight of the mirror increase when your image appears in the mirror? No. Similarly, the weight, the height, the color of that consciousness never undergo a change. Can I become aware of that? And the moment I become aware of that, I live into that state of meditation all the time. Journey of meditation is not reaching anywhere. Journey of meditation is peace and happiness is behind. When you are a speaker, when you are a doer, when you are an enjoyer, when you are performing all your personal, professional, social duties outside, peace and happiness is behind there. It is always ever present. This is the message this master is giving. So let us start our journey. Close your eyes. We will not do anything on Saturday's journey of meditation.